Hello, hello.
Hello,
Yeah, sure.
David. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get started in 5 minutes. Huh? Just a second. We are waiting for the guests to come.
sure.
Once they're here, we can get started. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Mahindra. Hi. Good evening. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. This is Yash. Yash from Ops. All good.
Yeah,
All
hi.
good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, Yash.
Right. Right. Uh, Mr. Mahindra, like, so are we expecting Dr. Robert shortly?
Yeah, he's just coming in another 2 minutes. Just
Okay.
giving
Okay.
no?
Done. Sure. Sure.
Sure. Hello. Can you make me to share the screen?
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Mahindra. Like I'm giving you permission. Just a second.
Okay.
Uh, Mr. Mahindra, can you check now if you're able to share the screen?
Sure. Just a second. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I'm able to see the screen.
Great. Just give me one more minute. It's coming.
Sure, sure. Done. Students, once again, hi. I kindly request you to please be on the line. Now we are expecting Dr. Robert Edshon. Once he's here, we can get started with the session. Thank you for being patient here. Just give us a few more minutes and we'll get started. Okay. Thank you.
Where are we talking? Uh,
Hello,
Hello, Dr. Robert. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. Thank you. Thank you for doing this. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for
so
organizing it.
yeah. So, sir, with your permission, shall we get started?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great, great. So once again, students and folks, good evening, and welcome to the session. Now, first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone for this warm welcome session hosted by Oaks Overseas. So I am Yash, one of the senior counselors USA at Oaks Overseas, and I'm here with Dr. Robert Morley of the Director of International Service of Governor State University. Now, to give you a little insight, the studying abroad is a life-changing decision, and the United States still remains a top destination with its world-class universities and diverse curriculum, course options, and much more. Now, I'd say from cutting-edge research facilities to industry connections, students benefit from a well-rounded education that prepares for global success. Now, here today in this session, we're going to be gaining valuable insights into the admission process, scholarships, and the student life at GSU. And with the help of Dr. Robert, we are going to understand what GSU has to offer in terms of admission process, scholarships, and much, much more. So, sir, over to you. Dr. Robert? Hello, Dr. Robert? Yep, I think he's back. Hi, sir. Sorry, I think we lost you there for a bite, I guess.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So once again, I'd like to welcome you to the session, and me and one of our students are happy to welcome you here, and we want to understand about GSU, the admission process, scholarships, and what student services are available at GSU. So please go ahead. Thank you.
Sure. So thank you again for that nice introduction. As mentioned, my name is Dr. Rahul. I'm the Director of the Office of International Services at Governor State University. We are located just outside of Chicago. So if you're familiar with Chicago, we're located just about 45 minutes outside of the city. We are a small public institution, and I will give you some information about the institution and some of our programs. So, as mentioned, we are a state university. We were founded in 1969, which, as far as institutions go in Illinois, is actually quite young. In fact, the youngest state institution in Illinois, meaning we're the youngest public institution. We started as a transfer institution, but in 2014, we started accepting freshmen. So as of right now, we are a comprehensive regional university offer programs. We also have an English as a second language program. So if a student was unable to make an academic program for reasons of English language proficiency and English language program, and then matriculate into an academic program. So our university is broken up into 4 different academic colleges. The first college is the Arts and Sciences, also business, education, health and service. One of the things to mention is that all of our courses are taught by faculty members, not teaching assistants. Sometimes at very large universities, especially at the undergraduate level, you will have the coursework taught by teaching assistants rather than by the faculty members. We don't rely on that. Faculty members teach all of our coursework. And all of our 90% of our faculty members have over 90%, or over 90% have the highest degree in their discipline. In terms of our location, we're located in the Midwest. You might be thinking it looks more east, but what that is essentially based on is when the state was, or sorry, when the United States were founded, you had the East Coast was where everything was, the original 13 colonies. So everything west of that was considered west. So we were considered Midwest. Now, as you can see, we're closer to the East Coast than we are to the West Coast, but that's just the name for the region. We are about 45 minutes outside of Chicago by car. There's also a metro train that can take you directly there. It takes about 1 hour by metro. It goes from the city center of Chicago and goes directly to the front of our campus. So it is easily accessible by train or car. Like I said, there's a major highway that goes directly from the city center as well, and it goes directly to the campus. Other than that, it is a very peaceful suburban setting. So although we're near Chicago, it's not in a very urban atmosphere. It's more so very green. There's a lot of nature, but you can get to Chicago very quickly. So just some breakdown by the numbers. Currently, we have just under 5,000 students enrolled. There is an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So what that means is that you have, for every 11 students, there's one faculty member. At a lot of large institutions, that number is more like 20-to-1, 30-to-1. So what that would mean is for every 30 students, there's only one faculty member. Obviously, you're going to have a lot less interaction with your faculty members if that's the case. On campus, we have over 20 over 20 countries represented. We have over 600 international students, many of which do come from India. We were rated the #1 safest campus in Illinois by niche.com. We were also rated the 8th safest campus in the US based on backgroundchecks.org. We have just about 50,000 alumni. We have a very large 750-acre campus. Over 300 acres of that are protected Illinois wetlands. So as you can see on the top right-hand side, that is a lake in the center of the university. There is actually another one as well. We have our own biological research station as well, on-campus biological research station with an active stream running through it, as well as another natural pond as well. We have over 70 plus student organizations and clubs. So lots of opportunities for students to get involved. We have an Indian club, international club. We also have a Chinese club, all sorts of different organizations. These are just some pictures of the university, some of the clubs that are available. Like I said, this is the international club. It's a very active club on campus. As I mentioned, we also have an Indian club. That is a newer club, also very, very active. So lots of opportunities to get involved. In terms of our degree programs, we have a fair amount of degree programs, over 50 programs in total between undergraduate and graduate. Here are some, although not all of these listed, but all of them can be found on our website. In terms of popular undergraduate majors, we have business, psychology, media studies, accounting, communication, health administration, health informatics, elementary education, IT, and also computer science. So these are some of our most popular undergraduate programs. However, there are additional programs that are available as well. And then in terms of popular graduate majors, I would say our 4 most popular are computer science, health informatics, business analytics, and information technology. All 4 of those are STEM programs. Our business administration program, our MBA program, is also quite popular. In addition, we have analytical chemistry, which is also a STEM major. Accounting is now also a STEM major. And then the independent film and digital imaging program is something that is becoming more popular. It's an artistic, I guess you could say, program that we're seeing more interest from as well. We do have a dormitory on campus. So if you are interested in living on campus, that's fine. If you're an undergraduate student, we actually have a housing scholarship available. So you would be able to receive a free dorm room for 3 semesters. If you're interested in that scholarship, please let me know. I'd be happy to give you that information. The scholarship would be for the semi-suite option on the left-hand side there. So in a dormitory in the United States, typically you would have a roommate of the same gender. You would have your own desk, your own closet, and then you would share a sink with your roommate, and then you would share a bathroom with the room next door. And it's all broken down, like I said, by gender. So men with men, women with women, they don't intermingle gender. There is also other options. There are other options. For instance, there is a 4-bedroom apartment that you can do. It is a bit more expensive though. So if you wanted to do that option, the semi-suite is what would be covered through the scholarship. So the difference between the 4-bedroom and the semi-suite, you would have to make up that cost. But again, these are definitely two options that are available for students looking to live on campus. There are a lot of students who prefer to live in the city. Actually, the majority of our students live in downtown Chicago, and they take the metro train to class every day. So you can do either option. Most students prefer to live in the city, but like I said, on-campus housing is available. And if you do live in the dorm, there are kitchens available on every floor, a resident assistant to help everyone. Wi-Fi, cable TV, and utilities are all included in the cost. Laundry is automated, and then the shuttle service to and from the main campus, the metro, everything is available as well. We do have a lot of amenities on campus. There's opportunities for recreation. For instance, we have a large basketball gymnasium, swimming pool, fitness center, lots of other facilities available to students. I should point out that there are also athletic scholarships available. So if you were an athlete and you're looking to play on a sports team, sorry, my apologies. Athletic scholarships are available for athletes. However, they are very competitive scholarships. For example, our soccer team is mainly made up of international students. They made it actually to the national tournament this year, and they went to I believe, the semifinals. Our basketball team made it to the conference championship. Our women's basketball team won the conference championship, as did our soccer team won the conference championship. So we do have very competitive sports teams. If you're looking to get involved, though, that is definitely an option. So something to keep in mind. These are just some pictures from around campus. On the left-hand side there, that is, those are two sculptures. We have a sculpture park all around the university. It has been rated one of the top outdoor sculpture parks in the United States. So those two sculptures are just two examples. There are dozens of them all around the university. Just an example of how it's a very beautiful green space. And as you can see, you have the leaves, yellow and red leaves there. That's during the fall, a very beautiful time of year in Illinois. On the right-hand side, you have, that's our Center for Performing Arts. We do have theater studies, and we do put on our own performances on campus, as well as we hire out external performances. So there are lots of opportunities in terms of getting involved with the arts. So on the bottom right-hand side, that's another example. You have our art exhibit, which many students in our fine arts programs contribute their artwork to the art exhibit. In terms of the undergraduate application process, so there is an online application form and fee. There's a $50 fee, but if you're working with one of our partners, we will give you a waiver code, so you do not have to pay that $50 fee. If you're an undergraduate student, we would need your high school mark sheets. You would not need a credential evaluation. We would do that internally if you're working with a partner. And then in terms of the English language proficiency score, we would accept TOEFL, IELTS, PTE, also Duolingo. You do not need the ACT or SAT, and there's no essay. It's not required, but we do recommend that you send your passport copy and your statement of finances, because that will definitely help to make the I-20 process much more quick. And then in terms of the graduate application process, we have the online application form and fee. Again, if you are working with a partner, you would not have to pay that fee. We would need your transcripts, your English language proficiency scores, possibly your GRE or GMAT. It's not required, but it can help you if you've taken it and you have a high score, but it's not needed. Statement of purpose will be needed for some programs. Recommendation letters would be needed for other programs. Biographical information page of passport would help, like I said, to speed up the process, as well as the statement of finances. Okay. So in terms of the English language requirements, you would need a undergraduate level TOEFL 68 with a minimum in certain sections. IELTS would be 6.0 band, so you just need a 6.0 total. PTE would be 47 with a minimum in some sections. At graduate level, it would be 80 with a minimum in each section of 20. IELTS, again, though, 6.0 band, hence why we have a lot of students just take IELTS. Also, PTE 53. We do also accept Duolingo. We may be changing the score required, but it's quite low. It's 100. So I also to Duolingo if you're looking to take English language proficiency test. And then in terms of the tuition, these are the different tuition rates. So one thing I would point out is that the undergraduate rate is listed as 19,680. However, that's based on if you're taking 12 credit hours per semester. This is for the year. You can actually take up to 18 credit hours per semester, and you would pay the same amount. The other thing is for like MS in computer science and so forth, it's listed as 15,696. While that is accurate, that's based on if you take 100% of your coursework on campus. However, if you take, for instance, online classes or hybrid classes, those were charged at 50% of the tuition rate. So for example, if you took 2 hybrid classes and 1 online class, you would go from 15,696 to closer to $8,000 instead of 15,000 for the year. So although these are the prices listed, most of our students end up paying considerably less. It is subject to what is available in terms of the modality of the different courses. But if, for instance, a student were to be trying to take 1 online, 1 hybrid, they would have quite a significant reduction in their tuition costs. So instead of 15,600, probably more like 11 or 12,000, or instead of 13,700, probably more like 9 or 10,000. So just some examples of how there are additional options for savings available. So in terms of the top 4 reasons to choose GSU, I would say location, based on us being so close to Chicago. Affordability, like I said, we have affordable rates, and they're even more affordable than you might think if you actually know the options available regarding the modality and the different rates for online classes and hybrid classes. Also, very high quality programs and on a very safe campus. Okay, so this is also our country manager, Mahendra's information. If you wanted to get a hold of him and speak to somebody in the country, he would be a fantastic person to connect with. And I think that is it. Should I stop sharing?
Yeah.
Okay, so are there any questions?
I am sure there must be like a lot of questions. So students, like, guys, I like to open the board to the questions. If you have any questions now, you can either chat, you can drop the text in the chat box or a Q&A box, or if you just simply raise your hand, like, I'll be able to unmute you so that I can talk to him directly. Dr. Robert, like, before the students ask, like, I want to ask you myself, so how is the international student ratio at GSU? Do we see a lot of people from different places, or is there a mixture of only one set of, or two, three set of ethnic groups?
So yes, we have over 20 countries represented on campus. However, to be honest, we do have a lot of students from India. So we have 600 students, and I would say probably close to 500 are from India. So you would have a lot of students from India. However, those other 100 students are from countries all over the world. A lot of students from Europe, a lot of students from South America, especially our athletes. Also, we do have a fair amount of students from other parts of South Asia, Bangladesh, Nepal. So those are all, those countries are represented, but India is by far the most well represented. As I said, we have 600 students and probably about 4,500 students total. So there is a sizable percentage of international students on campus. So you would never feel alone or as if you're the only international student. In fact, you'd feel like there are a lot of international students on our campus.
Right. That's good to hear. Also, I'd like to understand is that in terms when we talk about the courses in particular, now we've been getting increasingly good number of queries which are related to accounting and so on. So, sir, can you give me a little understanding on how careers in accounting looks in the US?
Sure. So accounting just was approved as a STEM program. So previous to that, it was not considered a STEM program. Now that it is one, I think we're going to see a lot more interest in that program. There are huge accounting firms in Chicago, so there are lots of opportunities to work directly in the field through your internship. One thing I should point out, if you're not aware, you can do an internship during your program, typically from 6 months to 1 year. And then when you finish your program, especially if you're in a STEM program, you would have the ability to work for 3 years. So if you were interested in working directly in the accounting field, could go directly into an accounting firm in the Chicagoland area. Typically, you would have to have your CPA certificate. So you'd have to be a certified practicing accountant. But the coursework would prepare you for that examination. And by achieving that, you would be able to work in the Chicagoland area without much problem.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I've heard, in my research, I found out that apart from the CPA, which we obviously mentioned, now there is an increasingly good number of opportunities for people who have done CMA as well, management accounting.
That is, yes, I believe that is becoming, I think, more necessary in the field as well, which the program would also prepare students for.
Okay. So also, sir, can you give us an information on, if you can talk about any emerging courses that international students should look out for rather than going for any conventional courses? So what would you recommend at GSU?
Well, so I mean, I would say that I think our computer science and our information technology programs I think they're very popular for a number of reasons. I mean, obviously there's a lot of opportunity for students in terms of professional opportunities after completing their programs. The other thing is, I would say, like computer science, almost half the program is elective coursework, meaning like you can take almost anything you want to take related to computer science. So if you're interested in artificial intelligence, or if you're interested in cybersecurity, I mean, it's really up to you what you want to focus on in that program. And then also in information technology, if you're interested specifically in cybersecurity, or if you're interested specifically in network facilitation, those are good options as well. I mean, I would say too, one of the things I would just point out is that we aren't just we aren't just a university that offers STEM programs. I mean, obviously most of our students want to do STEM programs because they want to work for 3 years after they graduate. But we have a lot of great programs related to the arts as well. So we recently had like 3 international students begin our independent film and digital imaging program. We also, like I said, we have theater studies. So we do have some students who go more towards the artistic side of things, and we're very happy about that. However, in terms of what's most popular, it's always our STEM programs. Computer science is our largest program, IT second largest, and then business analytics and health informatics are our third and fourth.
Okay. Now we got a doubt from the audience. Ms. Rekha, please ask your doubt.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Good evening. So I'm Rekha. I have queries, sir, regarding funding and scholarship. I just want to know, how is the option for scholarship and funding for international student, and also research about the research assistantship. Is it available for international students?
Yes, great question. So there are scholarships available. They're typically they're small scholarships. They're not merit based. You'd have to apply for them directly. They're typically between $500 to $1,500. You would apply for them through a platform called Scholarship Universe. Um, there are also opportunities to work on campus. Student jobs pay $15 an hour. So there are lots of opportunities for students to work while studying. And then, yes, there are graduate assistant positions available. Those positions cover full tuition, oftentimes, sometimes 3/4 of tuition, and then also provide a monthly stipend. So, for example, in my office, we have a graduate assistant, and they are actually an international student. We cover their full tuition for 1 year and provide a monthly stipend. So that is available as well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other
Guys, do you have
questions?
any other questions? Any other questions? Anything about US governor state or career in the US? Anything, please shoot.
Sir, my one and the last question is like, does Governor State University have MBA STEM program, sir? Is it a STEM program, STEM designated program?
So our MBA program is not a STEM program. However, most students who are interested in the MBA program looking for a STEM option go into our MS and Business Analytics program. If you were interested in a business program STEM designation, I would highly recommend our MS and Business Analytics program.
Fine, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
So I've got, I think, a bit of a serious question that I wanted to ask. Now, we've been talking to students and we've been coming across different set of queries. But I think the most common query that has been right now floating around since the past 2-3 months is that now students are worried that the visa rejections may increase, coming in for fall or anything. Like, so is this just a rumor, or do we have anything against it, or what can you tell to the international students so that they would feel a bit calm? And how do you look at fall 24, sorry, 25, fall 25?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure that people have talked with friends who have been rejected, and so that becomes very. However, points out from people who are admitted because they applied for. So keep that in mind that when you're listening to the crowd, you're only hearing from the people who weren't approved. You're not hearing from the people who typically were approved. So that's something to keep in mind. With that said, it is correct, I think, that most universities did see a bit of a increase in visa rejections last year. However, that was under the Biden administration in terms of the political administration. It was under the previous administration. So I think people are assuming now, because the Trump administration is in, that the visa approval ratings are going to go down. However, most of what they're basing this on is the fact that visa approvals went down under the previous government. So that really doesn't tell us anything about what's going to happen for the current government. So there's no reason to believe that they will continue to go down. And I would say that even though the rejection rates went up, I would say that there were still large numbers of approvals from India. India continues to be the #1 country in terms of country of origin coming in for the United States. So I think that we will continue to see strong approval ratings from India. I think what we saw a little bit last year was a little bit of market correction in some sense, because right after COVID, we saw a huge influx from India. And then I think because there was so many who initially came, like I said, they kind of, there was a bit of, for lack of a better term, market correction to try to bring things down to a more sustainable number. And I think we will see a sustainable number moving forward And I think that even with that, the approval ratings will still be favorable for Indian students. So I wouldn't be discouraged by some of the news that you've heard from others. And like I said, just try to keep it everything in context. That, you know, sometimes the people who feel wronged are the people who speak up the loudest, whereas the people who were approved and who had a favorable result you never hear from because they've moved on and they're, you know, living out their dream. So keep that in mind.
Okay, understood. I think this is what even we were trying to convey to the students, is that any steps that would be like taken in terms of fall 25, they can't be judged on what happened for the previous thing. Like, you know, that definitely we can't do that. Okay. Okay. Now
Absolutely.
we got one question from Q&A. It says, do we accept 3-year degrees? I mean, so this is essentially 15-year education that we are talking about. So does GSU accept 15-year degrees as well?
Yes, we do, from certain institutions. So if the institution has an NAC accreditation of grade A or higher, we would accept the 3-year degree from India. Typically, we would also be looking for the student to have a first division score or placement as well from that university. However, it is possible to be considered if you're not in the first division on a case-by-case basis.
Okay. Great. Yes, any other questions? Any other questions? Please shoot up.
I would just, I guess one last thing I would say is that, you know, we do have very supportive international office, you know, so you wouldn't have to worry about, you know, feeling alone. You know, my office is kind of a one-stop shop for anything in terms of support services. So if you, you know, are worried about being in the United States for the first time, like I said, you'd have a strong support office and also a very supportive international student community. So, like, even if, you know, before you ever even arrive on campus, once you receive your visa, we add you to our WhatsApp group. You'd be meeting, you know, hundreds of students from around the world, and you'd be connecting. Oftentimes, we have students who connect, they find a roommate before they've even met each other. They meet in Chicago and they move in because they've met through a WhatsApp group. So, you know, lots of opportunities to meet people and opportunities for support.
Understood. Understood. Great. Great. So lastly, sir, I wanted to ask later on behalf of, like, you know, a couple of queries that I've got regarding the PhD. So can you give us a little insight on the PhD admissions, the fundings and all? Anyone who's looking for a doctoral degree at GSU?
So yes, we do have some doctoral degree programs available. Counseling is, I believe, a PhD program. We also have a doctorate of education. So these programs are available. The issue would be that the doctorate of education would not be available actually because there's too much of an online component. But for counseling, it would be available. However, it's probably, to be quite frank, it's probably not what a lot of Indian students would be looking for, a lot of international students, because I think oftentimes it's associated with a PhD program that it would be sort of a funded research program. However, we don't offer research programs. These are you know, programs where students would have to pay out of pocket for these degrees. So it would be very similar to the application process for any other graduate degree. And in terms of the tuition structure and so forth, it would be similar as well. And unfortunately, to be honest, I think that we're going to be seeing, even at the research institutions, probably fewer opportunities for certain programs to fund international students because, as you might know, the federal government has paused quite a bit of funding related to research grants and so forth. So until that is cleared up, I think it might be difficult to attain a research position as a PhD student in the United States.
Right, right, got it. So, lastly, sir, can you give us a couple of last words for students who are planning ultimately just three simple things that you want to discuss students to do and not to do when applying for GSU as international students?
Absolutely. I would say if you are thinking of applying for the fall semester, please apply now to give yourself enough time. I think one of the issues that students typically make, one of the mistakes that they typically make is they wait too long and they don't give themselves enough time for the process to take place. So just to give you an example, if you were to apply now, it could take between 3 weeks to a month possibly to get you your admission decision. Afterwards, you would have to get your I-20. And then in India right now, it's typically taking around 3 months to get a visa appointment. So by the time that happens, we're going to be in late July, and then we begin in late August. So again, if you're interested, this would be the time to apply. If you have any questions, I would definitely recommend to definitely let us know. And I would also say if you are going to apply, make sure this is the school that you want and it's the programs that, the program that you want. Because I think one of the things we just had a meeting with the consulate yesterday. One of the things that they're really looking for in terms of the visa interview is to know more about why did you choose this specific school? Why did you choose this specific program? And how is this a program that you couldn't do here in India? So, I mean, I think, if all of those boxes are ticked for you, this is the place I want to be, this is the school I want to be at, and this program is something that I wouldn't be able to, to have access to unless I went there, then I think it makes perfect sense to apply. And I think you shouldn't have any issue with your visa approval if you can convey all of this accurately to the visa official when the time comes. And then the final thing I'll just say is, again, we are here to support you all the way from the application process to the offering process when you're looking for an internship and looking to start working after you finish your program. So, this is, I think, one of the great things that we're able to offer as an institution is the level of support. So please feel free to reach out if you need anything. My team, we're happy to help. Mahendra's here. He's happy to help. He's in India. He can, respond to in real time. Typically, I'll respond within 24 hours. So, let us know if there's anything we can do to help.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. I'd once again like to thank you for doing this. This was a great webinar, great informative session. I hope our students have got what they were looking for. And for any further information, we'll always get connected with you. We've got Mr. Mahendra, who we always keep in touch regarding any applications or any other processes. So yeah, thank you once again. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much.
Have a great stay in India. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.